Hello there, people. Today I want to talk about a film called The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. I want to, preface this video by saying I don't know the total backstory of this film. Actually, I don't know much in the grand scheme of things. I do know that this film is 2 hours and 17 minutes, and you can tell that where I'm going with this, I've heard there was a lot of studio interference with what Eggers wanted to really put to screen and what make. I'm sure by watching this film Robert Eggers probably wanted this film to be like 2 hours 35 minutes or something, and I think the film would have been better and more to Robert Eggers's sort of like fantastical with the fantasy elements. I think it would have been um, more to his design if there was less studio interference. I think, and I think that's apparent in the fact that there are spaces in the film where I could see that there could have been more stuff fleshed out, not necessarily important to the plot, but just especially in terms of I forget the man's. Anyway, the main character's sort of like journey as he's like an adult starting out, and then to where he gets to in portraying himself as a slave and whatnot. Yeah, so that's that. I would like to know more actually, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure these big sort of these directors who are making sort of like Hollywood films express them too much because they might not want to damage their chances of um, getting more chances in Hollywood. But that's for all speculation and rumors. But yeah, um, we've got a great cast. We've got Ethan Hawke, William Dafoe, um, Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, uh, Bjork, Anya Taylor Joy, and there's an English dude. He was in Stephen Merchant's and Gervais's The Office. One of the extras that pops up in a few episodes, but I can't remember his name. He was also in Robert Eggers' film The Witch. Played the dad. Apologies, I can't remember his name. Oh, Clive's Bang, is it? Anyway, I'm probably saying that wrong. So, Dilly Dadley, you know. Yeah, this is like a beast of a film. The Alexander Skarsgård's character here, he is ruthless. It's a revenge film. Um, um, in like the Viking sort of like Viking era. The kid, we start off with his character as a kid. Tragedy befalls him. We have a time jump. He's an adult now, and he is like looks like a Adonis, and he's ready to um, avenge his fallen family member. And so that's where we see him. He's sort of we get this great shot of him like rowing one of those I think it's called a long ship. He's rowing a ship along like a canal or getting too into the weeds. Anyway, he just looks amazing. It's shot really greatly. I really love Robert Eggers. Love what he's doing. Can't wait to catch his new film Nosferatu. And Anya Taylor Joy's character. She's sort of again she's playing this sort of mystical figure. There's a lot of mystical elements in this film where you just have to sort of go with it. There's a lot of like spirituality going on. There's this great um, depiction of like I think from what I understand is like a family tree of the hero's family tree, and like all the people that rise to fulfill their destinies and then they're dead, and then we sort of go along the roots of the tree. We find the father, then him. Eventually, we see like his potential children, but I don't know whether that's to express if he goes down one avenue of life, like revenge, whether his kids will be born, or if he goes down another one, the kids will be born or not born, or be royalty or not. I'm not so sure. Given the ending of the film, there's this climactic battle on a volcano, the gates of hell they call it, and then the film ends suddenly, and I don't think it's too much of. I think it's self-explanatory what did happen, but yeah. So I think all that to say, I really like the family tree sort of like segments. It pops up 2 or 3 times. So yeah, the main hero grows up, swears revenge. He sort of makes like an oath or a pact to like this sort of like witch doctor. But a lot of these scenes are sort of like when he retrieves like sort of like he's given he swears an oath to get revenge, and then like he wants to retrieve like a sword, and certain other scenes. These scenes are sort of like taken out of the real world, so you can sort of like, are they metaphorical? Are they just him believing in himself, or are they actually happening? It's up to the viewer to sort of determine whether they want it to be very like have the fantastical elements, or being, like I say, metaphorical. Um, and yeah, I mean, like I said, the hero he's vicious, um, especially like early on in the film when he like does a raid. It's like a one shot style take, just going around beheading people, taking people out with axes, and it just goes to show like the brutality of this era. Um, Even like the good guys are savages. It's do or die, eaten or be eaten. Eat or be eaten. Sorry. And then sort of the hero is, although he's like, like I say, he looks amazing physically wise, and he's capable of sort of like getting what he wants by force. He sort of strips all that away. Robert Eggers puts him down on the ground on his knees, and he has to start from afresh. He portrays himself as a slave. There's like a couple moments where the dude jumps in like waters, like choppy waters, and like just swims, I don't know, miles sometimes, in times that you just think that's not even, you die before you make it to land. But like he does it a few times, and it just goes to show the sort of like the savagery of this film. And so yeah, he meets Anna Taylor Joy's character. She's also been held captive, and all these people are sort of made to work on the land of the people that the hero wants to eventually kill, because they're the ones that killed his family. So um, that's the rest of the film. He sets out to do that whilst he's like portraying. They don't recognize him because it's years later. It's like 20 odd years later or something. So he's doing that, and as the film goes on, he's sort of, like I say, he's like garnering his strength. He's sussing out the what he's going to do. He's getting a sword, this legendary sword that can't be broken. I really like elements like that. It all goes back to like your Conan the Barbarian times and stuff like that. I do like it. And then there's a really shocking and sort of like really sinister scene with Nicole Kidman's character that shocked me the first time. But interestingly enough, for those of you who have watched it and then watch it again, you can see the not a manifestation of her character, but you can see her true character, Nicole Kidman's true character. That's the hero's mum. You can see her, what she's really like, really early on in the film, if you watch out for it. And when I clocked it on the second time, I was like, wow, okay, I didn't realize that the first time, but yeah, it's there. Um, yeah, there's this great moment where I don't know if it's like a real game, real sports game that exists. It probably is in sort of myth somewhere, or I'm being really ignorant and it's quite modern. Not modern in the sense that it was made modern, but people might still play it. I don't know. It's very brutish. But there's this sort of like game of kind of like a football thing where the slaves are made to sort of get this ball from one end to the other, or in someone's goal, and but you have to like beat people up while you're doing it. And it's one of the best scenes in the film, really, because like the hero sort of proves himself while in his facade to the king, because his half brother is going to be about to be like kicked in the face by this thug. And the hero stops it, beats the guy to a pulp using his forehead, and sort of like gains entry further into the king's camp, which is great to like put him in a situation where he needs to be and further the plot. But it's just a great scene, such savagery. A lot of naked men in this film, all looking great, and um, the once Anya Taylor Joy's character and Skarsgård's character, we're in the last, the final leg of the film, they've sort of established a relationship, and it's believable, to the extent where I believe that they love each other and they fall in love, and that they want to be together. But his conviction and his oath doesn't let him just sort of like sweep it under the rug. He has to complete his life's goal before he can sort of settle down, and to his detriment or to success, wherever the film ends up. But Anna Taylor-Joy is really good in this film. It's a testament to like her, and she can't help it. When you see actors that are not like done up to the nines and they look beautiful just in barely any clothes and just not made to look like they're glamorous, it's just like true beauty, isn't it? Um, like the acting's great because like she's this sort of like not like a fortune teller, but she seems to know a lot more than what an average human would. She sort of guides him, then falls in love with him. Um, it all leads to this moment where, yeah, like I say, he does his mad swim again, to set up the finale of the film. She lets out this big like scream. Then this wind sort of brushes on the sails of the longship. It's great stuff, and and yeah, Skarsgård fights his antagonist, his destiny, at the end on like an erupting volcano. It just seems to suddenly erupt, when it's time to fight. That's interesting. But it's all to do with this fantastical element, isn't it? And fleshing out this sort of like a Viking mythos, like almost biblical prophecy stuff, and really good. And I must say, like the sort of like the story beats and the action are very like sharp. None of it is like prolonged. It's just sort of you get the action and then something abrupt happens. Someone either gets killed or someone gets injured or something happens where it's just quite sharp, and I like that. Yeah, so that's my review of the Northman. I look forward to seeing it again more and more and more, and getting more out of it, seeing what bits I really like, seeing what bits I don't, um, and yeah, seeing if I can sort of piece together any more of what Eggers' original intentions were for this film. I think it's all just nothing for the beginning and the end, but more so the middle bits, like where just fan fiction in where what he was doing in his early days, or yeah, because I don't think there's too much. There might be some stuff missing when he's a slave. I'm sure there is. I don't know. It's more so the stuff just before that interests me the most. Anyway, thank you.